Today I'll be working on a 2014 GMC Acadia.
The truth.
We're going to be replacing the spark plugs. When doing these spark plugs, I've had to use a combination of multiple different size extensions. Sometimes even using a very small one and the medium-sized one together to get to those back spark plugs. Before you get started, make sure the engine's been cooled off for a while. You don't want to be working on a hot engine. First thing you're going to want to go ahead and do is undo the oil filler cap. If I can get it, there it goes. Go ahead and set that aside. We're going to pull this cover off. It just fits on with these little rubber boots onto these little metal pegs right here. Next, you're going to want to put your oil filler cap back on, just so nothing falls down in there while you're working. Next, we're going to be removing these plugs off the back of the coil packs. So I'm trying to show you the best I can, but you're pretty much going to push down on this little tab and pull back at the same time. Like that. And just move them out of the way. Go ahead and do all three. There's one right here, here, and here. Those are going to be your front three. I'll show you the back three later. Next, we'll be using a 10mm socket to take off these bolts, and you may need a swivel head as well to help get into kind of some of the weird angles to get to a couple of these. Alright, next, after you get your bolts out of the holes, we're going to go ahead and pop these up. What I found works best is one of these plastic body panel tools. Just get it right underneath, all the way underneath the part where it plugs in. I don't know how well you can see if the camera will focus. So you don't want to go inside, you want to go underneath. And of course it's going to be out of focus. There it goes. But just kind of pry up on them. Pop them all out. So that one. And there goes the third one. Just want to gently maneuver these guys up out of here. Pull them out, inspect them, see if they have, sometimes they'll have oil all down at them. Sometimes that shows you a sign of the valve cover leaking. These ones look pretty dry though. So we'll just be going straight to the spark plugs. Now with getting this last one off, kind of have a problem. Looks like I need to take off this right here. It's got a little 10mm bolt right there. Go ahead and remove that and we should be able to pull this right off and get it up out of the way. Should be able to still leave it plugged in on both of these though. Now that this guy's out of the way, should be able to remove this coil pack right here. To get down to each one of the spark plugs, you're gonna need a 5/8 socket with a very long extension. I have the spark plug sockets. I have like a little rubber boot to grab onto the spark plugs. You can use a standard 5/8 as well, and then go in there with a pair of like pliers and pull them out, or maybe a magnet even. Now you can see the difference between my old one and my new one. The old ones aren't terrible, but we were getting a misfire, so I want to replace all of them. It's always good to double check the gapping on your new spark plugs. For the GMC Acadia, it comes to be 0.043, which is about, if it'll focus, about right where my thumb is, right where the nail is. You can see about right there, it should be good. When you go ahead and go put the new ones in, it's pretty much the reverse order. Slide it down in the spark plug tube and tighten her up. Once you get the new spark plugs in, we're going to go ahead and put the coil packs back in, pretty much the same way you got them out. It's nice and easy. I like to put the same ones back. If this one came out of this tube, I like to put it back in that one, same with that one and that one, and then on the back as well. Once you go ahead and set them back in there, you're going to want to get them good and snug. So I like to use a piece of wood, just kind of give them a good little push, just to seat them in there. And then next we'll be putting the bolts back in their little holes to hold them down. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and plug your coil packs back in. that to hear a snap. It's good and in there. Also, don't forget to replace this back where it goes, and then put the bolt back in as well. Alright, that completes our front 3 spark plugs. Now we're going to move on to the back 3. They're a little bit harder to get to, but let's see if I can find them with my hand. Right here, you can see the first coil pack. It'll focus. There it is. And second one's about right here, and third one's right over here. So you're going to be set up the same way. You're going to have the bolts and the plugs on the back. You're just going to kind of do it. You barely see anything on the back side. So you're going to do the back 3 the exact same way. As you can see, I unplugged the first coil pack. Now I'll be getting the bolt. I don't know how well you can be able to see it with the camera, but it is right where my finger's touching. And you do that for each one. Again, I used a body panel tool to pop up that coil pack, but it should come right out. Gotta see it right back there. There it goes. And again, no oil, so that valve cover seal should be good. Next, we're going to get down there with our spark plug socket again and extracting that spark plug down in there. After you get your old spark plug out, again, it's pretty much reverse order, putting the new ones back in. Get it down in here. Back down your spark plug tube. After your spark plug's back in, I'm going to go ahead and put the coil pack in as well. Just gonna rotate it around so the bolt lines up with the bolt hole again. If I can get it back in there, there it goes. Oh, sorry, I was out of focus. Alright, and next I'm gonna put the bolt in, and I'm gonna plug it back in. Once that one's all back together, go ahead and do the other 2 the exact same way. You can do all 3 at once if you want. I just like doing them one at a time, that way I keep track of exactly what I'm doing as I go. Once you get all the spark plugs back in, and they're all tightened back down, all the sensors are plugged back in and everything, and even plug this little guy back in, go ahead and take the oil filler cap back off, and you put the engine cover back on. I like to line it up with this, and kind of feel around, make sure all those plugs kind of fit back in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And reinsert your oil filler cap. Go ahead, get back in the vehicle, start it up, make sure you don't have any check engine lights on, and also take note of your odometer. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll answer any questions as soon as I can. Hope this video helps.